Most people treat their severance like a parachute, but the truth is, it's really a timer. And when it hits zero, oftentimes there's a panic and your options are starting to shrink. Hiring budgets always follow pain, not polish. So write down those three problems that only you can fix, those urgent and expensive ones. And now I want you to test them. I want you to test them in conversations, not applications. And here's the real test. If no one's nodding, you've got the wrong problem. Complaints aren't gossip. They're signals. And repeated things like poor operations in the reviews is your executive opportunity. Networking like air. It's your oxygen, not a nice to have like dessert. 70 to 80% of hires happen in the hidden job market. And that's not a stat, okay? That's survival math. Relevance is not tenure. That just keeps you employed. If you're not learning, sharing, and being seen, you're just fading.
The idea of job security is outdated as a landline. If you haven't been in a search for a while, it's probable you will at some point, by choice or not. Most executives admit to staying way too long or sense what's coming and justify staying anyway. There's another reason. The faulty belief that navigating to what's next will inevitably be worse and has to suck. Screw that. Lauren Greif has spent a lifetime in corporate and executive search, calling bullshit on stale career advice that most still use. This is Career Blast in a Half, the career podcast for executives ready to cut past outdated career advice to fuel your outcomes now. So let's go.
I hear this on the regular. Oh, crap. My severance is running out. Now what? So today I'm going to bring you 3 moves that matter, because most people treat their severance like a parachute. But the truth is, it's really a timer. And when it hits zero, oftentimes there's a panic and your options are starting to shrink. But today we're not talking about the panic. We're talking about your power, the power. And here are the 3 must-dos if you're going through that ticking clock feeling, right? First and foremost, I urge you, so vital. Stop with the noodling and the polishing, because all of that is just a way to kind of get lost in what really matters, and that's positioning. So enough with the tweaking and the overthinking. No more bullet points. Stop asking, how do you look? And start asking, who needs me most right now? This leads to the previous episode, or the last solo episode I did, which was called Urgent, Expensive, and Unfair. I want you to identify the urgent and unfair, the urgent, expensive problems you solve and why you have the unfair advantage to solve them. Why? Because hiring budgets always follow pain, not polish. So write down those 3 problems that only you can fix, those urgent and expensive ones. And now I want you to test them. I want you to test them in conversations, not applications. And here's the real test. If no one's nodding, you've got the wrong problem. So to take this even deeper, I want you to follow the money and the pain. I want you to listen to earnings call, look at SEC filings. Companies are literally flailing their arms and announcing where they're struggling. Customer churn, failed integration, margin compression. Layoff trackers and restructuring news is also very revealing, because a layoff usually means 2 things: cost cutting and or gaps in a specific area of expertise. And that's where you step in. So be on the lookout for that. Glassdoor trends. Here's the big reveal. Complaints aren't gossip. They're signals. And repeated things like poor operations in the reviews is your executive opportunity. So look for those signals. And I want you to track the triggers. Companies with high cost headaches show up in real time, like rapid M&A activity. That usually signals integration chaos or cultural clashes. Regulatory fines? There it is, compliance and governance gaps. Tech failures, we've heard them. We read them in the news all the time. Cybersecurity breaches, ERP roll-ups, AI adoption gaps. Neon signs, you guys. These are neon signs for you as executives with your unfair advantage to help stabilize and transform.
I am blowing the lid off of our best kept secret, our 30-day blast program. Yeah, you heard it. 30 days. We have seen so much success for this program that past clients have landed in that 30 days and increased their compensation 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, over 100%. Now, not everybody lands and earns that much in 30 days, but my point is it prepares you. And in 30 days, if you're not out of there with a changed mindset and changed clear and simple ways to be able to navigate the market this year, then we'll gladly refund your misery and you can go back to applying now. Check out the link below for the next 30-day blast, and we would love to have you there because we live for your success, and that's what's really important. See you then.
Now, the second must do is I want you to treat networking like air. It's your oxygen, not a nice to have like dessert. 70 to 80% of hires happen in the hidden job market. And that's not a stat, okay? That's survival math. Waiting for recruiters or job boards is playing the absolute wrong game. Decision makers at your level will always hire people they trust or other people they trust who have vouched for you. So here's the specifics. Block out 90 minutes a day for outreach. No more, no less. And I want you to map out your unfair advantages. So don't chase generic pain. Filter all these opportunities and conversations where your unfair advantages match their urgency. So if you're an operations executive, you should be hunting out utilities, logistics, or healthcare with missed service level penalties. If you're in the finance vertical, I want you to look for PE-backed roll-ups that are bleeding cash. If you're a marketing or branding executive, spot companies, consumer companies, losing market shares to upstarts. In those conversations that you have, please do not ask, do you know of a job? Ask something way more telling. What's the biggest headache you're dealing with right now? And end every conversation with, who else do you know who's suffering from this that I should speak to? You can also say something that's very relevant. I saw your CEO mentioned on publication, that last call, or heard them in the news. How is your team dealing with that? Winning, because you're going to get them to open up and talk about that. The last must do is future proof while you are in that transition period. Most executives are scrambling for the next paycheck, but smart executives, they're building the next platform. Relevance is not tenure. That just keeps you employed. If you're not learning, sharing, and being seen, you're just fading. So pick one skill to sharpen. Is it AI? Is it industry technology? Is it your leadership edge? And publish these short insights weekly. LinkedIn posts, obviously. Serve on panels. Grab a spot on a podcast. It's not that difficult, especially because people like me are always looking for excellent guests. Build reputation equity while you're chasing that last severance check. Okay? Keep going. I'm going to wrap this up by saying when severance runs out, you really don't need more polish. You need a much sharper positioning, consistent networking, and a bias towards future-proofing. Do these, and the clock isn't a countdown. It's a launch pad. Thank you so much for listening, and I am so here for you. Don't even worry about the severance right now. Focus on what needs to be done in order to create that next and next and next, because it's not always about just landing. It's really about lasting. Thank you for listening. I love you guys. I do from the bottom of my heart, and I love podcasting. I know that sounds so hokey and corny, but I do. So if you like this episode or other episodes, please write us an Apple Podcast review, and know that I read every single one of them, and it's super, super appreciative. All right. I'll see you on the LinkedIn streets. That time I said it right. All right. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for joining today. We appreciate your listening ears. Big time. We ask this: use these tools, not tomorrow, right now, and share them by spreading the love, leaving us a rating and subscribe so you don't miss the next career blast in a half. Most of all, thank you for you.